While the Dragonflight hype is going on, 9.2.5 and Shadowlands is still making some progress with hints for the new expansion. Most recently, we got some updates to the capital cities, Orgrimmar and Stormwind, with some really interesting changes. Now, while these two really need to be completely updated, let's not get ahead of ourselves. These are relatively minor changes, but the reason I decided to talk about them now is because they may just be hints for what is to come. From the removal of the Night Elven refugees, hinting at a possible new Kaldrai settlement, to possible new hints for Dragonflight and dragon riding. So, what are these new changes? Are you looking for cheap software like Windows 11 for the best price on the market? Well, Royal City Keys is your best option. Other than software, you can find a bunch of games at amazing prices, and if you use my code DORON, you will get an additional 10% off. So if you want to support the channel and get something for yourself, check out my link in the description or the QR code on the screen. So, these little hints with changes to both Orgrimmar and Stormwind have been going around for a bit over a month, actually before the expansion was announced, with some NPC positions changed and the like. Previously, I didn't really want to talk about this because who really cares that they moved this little table like 2 meters down the road, but now they have made a few updates that kind of tie in with some of the interviews, and they seem to be really interesting, as if it is hinting at something actually happening in the next expansion. Initially, we kind of believed that these changes could be related to player housing, as there was a highly speculated feature and a kind of a leaked feature of a new WoW expansion, but that turned out to not be the case at all. Instead, this seems to be related more than likely to the pre-patch event and Dragonflight and what is to come, ideally, quite soon. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. Most of the actual changes are in fact minor. In Orgrimmar, not really all that much is going on. They added some simple fetch quests that don't seem to be of any relevance, and they moved the guild vendors that are close to the main hall to the other side of the street, and they left this little wagon there, and most importantly, they created this new space with like a feeding ground, a sleeping place, really some sort of a stables where you could place a pretty large beast, now possibly a dragon. A popular speculation has been going around that this might be related to that dragon that you can customize, that you will get in the Dragon Isles. The only issue is that this feature will only be related to the new continent, so it doesn't make much sense for it to be in the capital cities. However, my speculation is that this is actually related to the pre-patch event. Possibly some sort of a dragon messenger lands here from the Dragon Isles, maybe wounded or something of the sort, and this is like his temporary place while we prepare for the actual big expedition to the Dragon Isles. Pretty much the exact same stable space is going on in Stormwind, with just about as much room for a relatively small dragon, something akin to a dragon mount that we would use. Maybe if this is not a messenger, this is the dragon we get. Maybe he crash lands and this is how we bond with this new mount, how he actually introduces himself to us, and this could be how the new expansion starts, how we like get introduced to the Dragon Isles and how we go to the continent. Other than these changes, we are getting some wagons and some sort of toolboxes and such. The biggest speculation is that this is related to the new professions. As you may be aware, we are getting quite a bit more detail and customization to the professions in WoW Dragonflight, so this update might be something related to this brand new expansion feature. However, I didn't create this video just to tell you guys about a new stable model being added to the capital cities. In fact, we have two more really interesting features. First is new workers being present in both cities, and second is the actual update to Stormwind in particular, and that is related to the Nastian Night Elven refugees being moved from where they were. And in regards to this, we have some really interesting hints as well from some third-party Blizzard interviews. So in regards to the workers, we have the quests both in Stormwind and in Orgrimmar where you need to kind of help them out, and they seem to be setting something up. We don't really know what at this point in time. What people have picked up as well, and this might be a hint, is that the workers in Stormwind are only dwarves, while the workers in Orgrimmar are only trolls. Might just be a pure coincidence, but this could mean that something dwarven or troll related may be coming with the pre-patch event, possibly something teamed with these two races. While these particular workers may not be related directly, Blizzard did actually give us some hints to a bunch of new workers being present in both capital cities, not on this exact location. They said that they don't want to spoil the pre-patch event, but essentially the new expansion starts off with both of our factions coming from some sort of boats together into the Dragon Isles, which is only logical, of course. Or we can either go by boats or we can fly. But what is interesting with this is that they confirmed that they will be building new docks, apparently both in Stormwind and in Orgrimmar. Seeing that the Stormwind harbor has been under construction for ages and Orgrimmar docks are really tiny, it does make quite a bit of sense. I'm guessing as we get cross factions and such, this might even be like a combined project, maybe Alliance will be present on the Horde docks and vice versa, so this might be some sort of international thing going on, like with international ships going around, as they pretty much confirmed we will be going together to the Dragon Isles and there could be PvP on the actual boats themselves. Now, the most interesting hint that we got, and that I think a lot of people actually overlooked, is that some of the Night Elven refugees were moved from where they were, pretty much in the exact same place where they were added, the new stables and that new building site and all these new little things. If you remember, and you obviously do, Sylvanas burned down Teldrassil and destroyed the capital city of the Night Elves, and in this process, she created a refugee crisis for the Alliance, and a bunch of them arrived, obviously, in Stormwind. Keep in mind, in-game changes and actual lore ones are literally a night and day difference. In-game, you have like 15 Night Elven refugees going around in the city, but in reality, it will be minimum in thousands, but more than likely in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. And now, in 9.2.5 and Dragonflight, some of these refugees seem to have gone somewhere that is not Stormwind. Now, this leads us into an interview, an official Blizzard interview, when asked, will there be a follow-up with what is going on with BFA, because we have gone into the Shadowlands and pretty much the previous war and all the events were put on hold, and there are a lot of loose ends. Are we going to see a bunch of Night Elven refugees all over the roads, cities, and everywhere? Yes, that would only be logical, and Blizzard told us that the Night Elven story is far from over. Going forward, they still got a lot that they lost, and with us going to the Dragon Isles, the Druids and the Green Dragons are incredibly intertwined. So, as we're adventuring with the Green Dragons, there will be some familiar faces. Now, in the official announcement, Tyrande was confirmed to be a significant character on the Dragon Isles in the new expansion, and you can kinda guess where this hint might be going towards. I've previously discussed Renewal, Queen's Gift from Ardenweald in 9.2.5, a possible restoration of Teldrassil. However, maybe a new Teldrassil won't be restored. Maybe the Night Elves will settle on the Dragon Isles as we go into the new expansion. This concept honestly seems incredibly likely. We know Night Elves are incredibly tied to dragons. They are a druid society and they go into the Emerald Dream, you know, together with the Green Dragons. Literally, the dragon aspects bless Nordrassil and are pretty much a key component of their overall civilization. They are very connected. Winter Queen resurrected Ysera, and Extraza will be incredibly relevant in Dragonflight, so the aspects are returning in their full glory and they are related to the Night Elves. So, if you connect the dots, it is entirely possible that these Night Elven refugees may be going towards the Dragon Isles from Stormwind, and maybe with the help of the dragons, they may be building a new city there, maybe even a completely new Darnassus later down the line. So, yeah, while these new changes to the capital cities may be minor, it might actually just be a big hint for what is to come, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Blizzard did, unfortunately, confirm in an interview that the main focus of the expansion will be on the Dragon Isles themselves, so while we may get some minor changes to the capital cities and a few other areas across Azeroth, we shouldn't really expect any sort of revamps or significant revamps to older zones, which I gotta say is definitely a shame, because a lot of older zones would really benefit quite a bit from some significant updates. Just imagine Orgrimmar and Stormwind being built like Suramar, or pretty much anything new Blizzard has created in the past few years. Thank you for watching. Check out what could be the new Warcraft mobile game by clicking on the screen, and check out Doronsmovies Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.